Maybe. This is gonna be a silly live stream. This is gonna be silly. But after talking about politics for 2 days, about the Trump assassination and stuff like that, I wanted to do something more lighthearted. And I dropped my device. Oh, I'll have to. Oh, here it is. Good, good, good. Sorry. Oh, crap. There we go. Blue Chew, holler at me. Let me let me get that sponsorship. uh, I'd love to do some silly promotions. Anyway, now that we've got through that shameless beg for sponsorship. No, I'm not done. I mean, come on. What's up, Blue Chew? Let's get it popping for real, for real. All right, now I'm done with the shameless promotion. I forgot. Oh, the cap came off. Oh crap! And that could have popped off anywhere. All right. Dang it. Anyway, I'll have to find that later. Says I wait for people to come into the chat room. We fix some things in the chat filter. Natalie King says hi. What's up? I'm fine. Thanks. Put on my glasses so I can see these usernames without squinting. Uh, Lay X2Y says hello, I sub. Appreciate the sub. And that says to go by. All right. Squirm Norm says hello. What's going on? So, like I said, this is gonna be a silly live stream. I'm talking about the fact that you know, basically a bunch of guys, mostly brothers, have been endlessly mocking Megan Thee Stallion for getting cheated on by Klay Thompson. And I'll say this, you know, usually the light skinned brothers are lagging behind, you know, us chocolate brothers. But the fact that Klay Thompson cheated on that dumb bitch got them up 10,000 points. Light skinned brothers, y'all up. Y'all are up. All right. Good job cheating on that ugly bitch. I never considered her remotely attractive, but a lot of guys did because they like the big butt, which I think is probably BBL. Or maybe not because it does look proportionate to her. I just don't find her attractive. I don't like her attitude, don't like her complexion, don't like her weave, don't like her huge ass. And yeah, like, I know some people like, oh, but I thought all you guys like the big butts. No, I don't. I like them slim fit. And I'll tell you another thing. the whole thing about brothers all like big butts is not true. That's not a racial thing. It's a socioeconomic thing. Uh, Men who come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, particularly black guys, tend to like chubbier women, rounder women, thicker women, whatever you want to call it. Everyone wants to sit there and be like, thick doesn't mean chubby. Thick doesn't mean fat. Thick just means big bone. Thick just means curvy. All right, whatever. Whatever you want to call it. Look, the fact of the matter is, higher value men often prefer slim fit women. Slim fit. When I say slim fit, I don't mean anorexic. I mean slim fit. And some brothers don't know what that means, especially because they've been brainwashed by black women saying, "Oh, you just want a skinny bitch." Yes, I want a skinny bitch. Slim fit. Uh, Nazia B says hi. What's up? Yeah. Plus, she deserves it. Like she has a horrible attitude, and she's been. How many people in the industry have ran through that hole already? We're talking about Megan the male horse. I mean the stallion. Manly looking ass bitch. You did a whole song bragging about your wet ass pussy and you can't even keep a man. Obviously, that ain't enough. The other rapper who did the duo with you in that song for WAP got cheated on as well and lost her man. So obviously, wet ass pussy is over two right now. Wet ass pussy is over two. Didn't work for Cardi B's ratchet hoe ass. Didn't work for Megan Thee Stallion's ratchet hoe ass. And on top of that, free Tory Lanez. All right, free Tory. Fuck that hoe, lying bitch. She lying. She wouldn't even admit that she fucking dude and cheating on her boyfriend at the time because she had a boyfriend while she was fucking Tory Lanez. She lied on national TV with uh, what's the chick Gabriel whatever her name is. She's a Maryland alumnus. She lied on national TV, said she never had any relations with the man. She was fucking him. It came out in court. Then she later came onto a live stream saying, "Yeah, I lied to so and so. I don't care." So she's not a trustworthy person. Like we shouldn't trust what she said in court. She lies. She's a fucking liar, and she's a whore. And her whole and why does she think? Why does she expect a man to be? Why does she expect a good man to be solid with her when her whole career is built on making hoe music? Like her whole career is built on making hoe music. Wet ass pussy. So you in what in what in what part of the multiverse? And I don't care if you're talking about the DC multiverse, the Marvel multiverse, the comic omniverse where both are combined. In what part of the multiverse does a man who's rich, famous, good looking, and has options is going to be tied down to a hoe who's been ran through and makes a career talking about how much of a hoe she is? Like, again, the only people who were surprised, the only people who were surprised that this man cheated on her were black women and and their ratchet allies. Most men understood the game because of the hypergamy in this country, as well as most other places, but particularly here, where women will say broke men don't deserve women. It's too bad they don't understand things like reason and logic, because if you extend if you extend that line of reasoning that broke men don't deserve women, that means that extremely successful men deserve multiple women by just by natural extension of that line of reasoning. If broke men don't deserve women, then successful men deserve multiple women by extension. But no one ever accused these bitches of being smart. So I'll say it again. Women love bashing men for being broke or short or unattractive, you know, or corny. So they find a guy who's very wealthy and successful, tall, handsome, and has charisma. He has that riz, right? So if he's the sort of man that most women want, why do you think he's going to limit himself to one bitch? Why? It does not make sense. So that's pretty much all I want to say. I'll be willing to take feedback from people in the chat room if people gather into the chat room to discuss. But that's pretty much all I had to say about it. I just find it hilarious that black women are so fucking gobsmacked with the shock and awe. How could he do this to her? These stupid bitches tie their whole self concept and self image to these ratchet celebrity women, because despite the fact that these women are successful and rich and famous and talented, they had the same results as a woman living in Section 8 using EBT cards. Same results. This is why Kevin Samuel said 4 years ago, PhD, but still ratchet results. Like, some of them may be highly educated, highly talented, successful, and they're still doing ratchet shit. This is why they get mad when the so-called lames, corny guys, go overseas to find women, or they choose white and Latina women instead, because they expect these guys to be the cleanup men when reality hits, or in other words, when they hit the wall and they realize, you know, Pookie and Ray Ray have been using them for years, and now they need the kind of guy that they would have, you know, not given a second chance, not a first chance to, in high school or in their 20s. Now they want this guy because they realize he offers stability. They want stability after they're washed up and hit the wall. But most of these guys by that time have moved on. Now that they're in their 30s or 40s, they realize they, you know, these women didn't appreciate them, so they move on to other women. A lot of I have one friend who still I have one homeboy who he sees the signs, but he still keeps trying to make it work out with these black women and keeps wondering why he's so fucking frustrated. And I keep telling him, you look at entirely too much red pill content to be still making the same mistakes that you're constantly warned of having. But it's because he desires these black women. I'm like, I don't desire them. But if I did, as he does, I would simply find them in another country, particularly Brazil. I already told him Africa is not the move. Like they're a little bit better in Africa, but a lot of them have a lot of them try to impersonate American black women and how they behave. So I wouldn't go for them. I would go for like if I were still if I were attracted to black women, but I was frustrated with how American women are, I would only date Afro Latinas. That's what I would do. Afro Latinas. But that's for him to figure out. Whereas most of my other friends, either they've already married with women here that they met during our college years, or like me, they went to other women outside of the black community. I, for my part, did not uh, have that experience where I didn't want to date black women because of how they act. It was just for me, just more of a preference in what I was attracted to and what I wasn't attracted to. I'll leave it at that because I'll upset people. um, but yeah, I mean, look, Klay Thompson revealed something to these women that they are not that hit them hit them hard. That is, you know, if Megan Thee Stallion can get cheated on, then so will they. They thought because these women act just like them, they're like a bop with money is still a bop. And because these little hoes with money, like Cardi B and um, Megan Thee Stallion and all these other little strip poppers like Glorilla and uh, Red, whatever her name is, they're all fucking ugly too. But anyway, um, because all of them are famous and talented, all these black women have like latch onto them. I even saw a white woman that said she loved Cardi B, and not surprisingly, her social life is shit too. Not even told her. I was like, when you identify with music that celebrates fertility and transactionalism, it's a red flag for a guy, and it shows, and it kind of like points to the fact of why you're not going to be successful in relationships, and you're just going to keep having situationships. Like she said, she wanted to avoid situationships. Your bewitches Cardi B is a ratchet. Yeah, she is. They all are. Cardi B, Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, all these sort of like all of them. Like they've made it. When you make a living from whole music, no high value man is going to want to invest his time in a relationship with someone like that. That's not someone you want to bring to a cocktail party at a business conference. Yorba, which is ratchet ass female with a lot of money is all she is. Still ghetto with no class and has hella money. Exactly, a bop with money is still a bop. Ex- exactly. Like I said, of course they're only going to find like they're not going to find men the type of men that they want because they're not the type of woman that a high value man will want. Ain't no way I would want to show up. I wouldn't even, I wouldn't want to take one of them bitches home to my mother. Meanwhile, when I was in the Philippines and I married my wife, my mom traveled all the way to the Philippines to meet with my wife and her family. They get along well. But hey, Howard, what's up, Howard? He's Howard Clegg says Chilean women are lovely and family oriented. Yeah, a lot of Latina women are family oriented. They're beautiful. When they call you um, Papi Chulo, make you want to never mind. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, like I said, if I like I said, if I were still uh, if my preference was still black women, like my homeboy is, who has not had a successful relationship ever, um, I would choose only Afro Latinas because then you won't have to deal with these little American bops. Yorby which says this is why we need to get rid of mods. He said we got the word put. No, that's my Streamlabs is my AI moderation. I've I've programmed it for that because I get a lot of trolls. Like you're cool, but you gotta understand, like uh it's gonna sometimes it's gonna you know overcorrect, so that it doesn't miss catching the folks who come in here and try to abuse the chat room with either trolling me or being abusive to other people in the chat room. But you still have freedom of speech. Like I won't get into that here. We can talk about that another day. He's in here stepping on people's freedom of speech. Is it nice to see you chill? um, yeah, it's not stepping on people's freedom of speech though. It's freedom of. All right, I'm gonna go there. Freedom of speech simply means that the government cannot punish you for what you say. That's what freedom of speech means. It has nothing to do with private entities. Um, that and in in a in a live stream, a host can choose how his stream is to be moderated. And the way I have my AI set up is because I don't always have my actual moderators available, so I still need a way of curtailing the trolling. You don't understand from your view how much abuse hosts go through with trolling. If you've been in other live streams, you've seen just how bad it is. There's a lot of people with mental health problems or just have shitty personalities who have nothing better to do than to come onto live streams and harass the host of these streams. So they have to put in moderation, which is going to curtail what people say and do in the live streams. That's not a curtailing of freedom of speech because is a freedom of speech pertains to the government. It does not pertain to private entities. And I mean, you're cool. Don't get me wrong, you're cool. But I wish people understood that. I think this is why a lot of states used to require students to pass a functional civics exam uh, in high school, so that people understood these sort of basic things, which unfortunately they don't. Freedom of speech has nothing to do with an employer that decides to fire you because you said something on your social media that goes against their company policies. It has nothing to do with a social media platform deciding to ban you from their app because they don't like the particular speech that you're using that goes against their policies. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. Freedom of speech means you cannot be punished by the government for the things that you say. That is all. That's what freedom of speech means. Howard says there's a reason it's the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights. Yeah, it actually the First Amendment goes beyond freedom of speech. Is also the freedom of assembly, the freedom the freedom to assemble, the freedom of the press, uh, uh, freedom freedom of religion, and all that sort of stuff. It is it is important that it is the First Amendment because that was something that the the American colonists were dealing with with the British Empire at the time. So this was something that was very important to them. Note, and then right under it was the Second Amendment because you need a way to defend those rights. So um, that's why I think a correct understanding of the Bill of Rights one and two go together. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. But yeah, I just want to address that briefly because it'll come up again. Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. It just means that you can say what you want within reason, because there are some limitations, like you can't yell fire in a right. We know stuff like that, like you can't yell fire in in a open theater, right? Stuff like that, and you can't use speech that incites violence. You can use hate speech. Hate speech is protect. That's another thing that a lot of progressives and leftists don't understand, which is one of the reasons I don't consider myself a progressive anymore. Is they don't realize that hate speech is protected by the First Amendment. Hate speech, because in order to have freedom of speech, you have to have the freedom to be able to offend others. um, and what they don't get is hates like they think hate speech means um, speech that incites violence, and those are two different categories of speech. This is why they tried to. This is why they tried to make that little clever pivot years ago, trying to say that talking against transgenderism is violence, because if they can convince people that talking against stuff like transgenderism or gender ideology isn't just a difference of opinion, but it's violence, then they could try to get it banned by saying it's inciting violence. But merely saying you disagree with transgenderism or the LGBTQ ideology, it's not inciting violence. It's not even hateful speech. Hateful speech is saying they're a bunch of faggots. That is hateful speech, but it's still protected under the First Amendment. Saying something like they should all go do X, Y, and Z that causes harm to them, that is inciting violence, and that is not protected. And they don't get that. Again, I blame public education. And I blame the fact that in public education they're hiring a bunch of leftists to teach children and brainwash them. Howard says they call delegated or limited forms, right? So I do want to make that clear. One is that freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. You can still face consequences if you say stuff on your social media or in real life that goes against the policies of your employer. They can and will fire you, and they are protected in doing so. If you say something on a social media platform, that social media platform decides to throw you in Facebook jail or ban you from the platform, or just shadow ban you, like you're still on there, but they won't allow you to say anything, whatever, like Facebook jail or whatever. That's protected, like they can do so. Plus, they have to look out for themselves as well, which is a whole other situation that I'm not going to get into with digital freedom and all that sort of stuff. Because whenever they go, because it's often the case that these social media platforms, freedom of speech is threatened, especially during the pandemic era. Biden's administration was coming down on Google and Meta and Twitter, um, trying to keep them from allowing people to say stuff that went against the official narrative coming out of the NIH and Dr. Fauci's lying bitch ass. So people were finding themselves shadow banned and kicked off platforms. You had even actual news platforms getting silenced, like The Hill on YouTube for a week. um, it was a crazy time. They didn't mind curtailing people's freedom of speech. That was actual freedom of speech issue, where you had the government punishing people for saying stuff that went against their narrative. That was a freedom of speech issue. But leftists didn't care about that. They only care now because they don't want Trump saying certain things, right? And but anyway, yeah, he said it follows natural law. But anyway, so yeah, so freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. Freedom of speech means you're protected against being punished by the government for the things that you say and think. And luckily, our freedom of speech laws are much stronger than what they have in Europe and the UK. Also, hates like I said, this comes as a shocker to Gen Z and to leftists who clearly didn't pass their civics exam or never had to take one. Hate speech is protected under free speech. Hate speech is a form of uh, speech protected under the First Amendment. What is not protected is speech that incites violence. But you cannot try to then uh, redefine terms just to make us say just to protect your own political ideology. Just because you're for uh, this gender ideology, or you're for transgenderism, and more specifically, you you cannot then redefine hateful speech or just differences of opinion as inciting violence against those people, saying that transgenderism. Uh, so if someone says transgender women aren't real women, that does not equal violence. But they literally been trying to do that shit for the past 10 years, trying to convince people that saying a transgender woman isn't a woman is violence against transgender people. No, it's not. For one, it's not even for one, that's not even hateful speech. That is just a truth. that is just a that is just an that is just a banal truth to say a transgender woman isn't a woman. They're not. Or to say that transgenderism seems to be due to uh, a prevalence of a social contagion and a bunch of gay and lesbian folks dealing with gender dysphoria, and usually underlying mental health issues. That's for one, that's not even hateful speech. But even if it were, again, it's still protected. So anyway, that's my rant. Now I'm back to Megan Thee Stallion's stupid ass. Like I said, she, Cardi B, Glorilla, um, and Red. What's the whole name? Red something. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. The bitch with the dark skin, funny looking chick with the red hair. The thing that's that booty meat. Bow 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 bow. And then she did that song with Bruno Mars. I can't remember her name. She's ugly. I think Glorilla knew she was ugly. That's why she got all that cosmetic surgery recently. It still wouldn't change my mind about her because I still remember when she was talking to some reporter or someone who was interviewing her or something, and she said she liked wearing black black panties because you can't see shit stains in black underwear. I'm like, ew, what? You're a grown woman. You can't like clean yourself. Like, ew, that ugh. And then what was the other one that looks like a damn chimp that went to Europe? I remember she went to Britain and she was like, I need my pussy scratched and all that sort of weird stuff. I forgot her name. Ugh, that bitch was ugly. I think Dr. Umar smashed though. I think Dr. Umar smashed because they got real buddy buddy. I think Dr. Umar may have smashed. But yeah, it hurt a lot of these black chicks' feelings when Klay Thompson cheated on Megan Thee Stallion because so many of them have their so many of them have their self image or self concept tied to these black female celebrities whom they seen who they see themselves in, largely because these women have this are dealing with the same problems that these women are. Like you should not be a millionaire and if you should not be a multimillionaire celebrity and you still got the same issues as a woman using food stamps and living off Section 8 housing. You should not be having the same you should not be having the same results. You shouldn't. I know for damn sure a guy living living like that won't be having the same results as a guy who's a multimillionaire and famous. Mm-mm. Because again, according to these women and according to their male allies, broke men don't deserve women. There's a lot of men who think that too. Broke men don't deserve women. That's fine because if you say broke men don't deserve women, then the natural consequence of that line of reasoning is then successful men deserve multiple women. So you cannot be mad when when those very successful men get get with these women and then they exercise their options with other women. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot want the men that all women want and then expect them to only want you. That doesn't make sense. On top of that, for these women who reached the creme de la creme of success, you should not still be thinking in a hypergamous way. Like these women are like the most successful people in the world, and they still want a guy that's doing better than them, which doesn't make sense. Because if you're trying to still get with a guy who's more successful than you, when you're already one of the most successful people in the world, at least as far as the entertainment industry is concerned, um, there's not much higher you can go. And the ones who are higher than you are going to exercise their options. Like people, I'm sorry, but Klay can find a million bitches like Megan Thee Stallion that are prettier, have less mileage on their coochie. Not to mention they can find a bunch and celebrities. Like there are celebrities in every country. Every country has their own celebrities. He can get whatever bitch he wants. He doesn't need Megan. So again, light skinned niggas are up 10,000 points. uh, that's how it is. I'm sorry. Hold on, I'm checking something here. Do, 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 All right. Yeah, I was sorry, just checking my participation mode. But yeah, again, if broke men don't deserve women, then successful men deserve multiple women. Um, that's just how it is. So, anywho, free Tory Lanez. Free Tory Lanez. That bitch lied on him. Luckily, he has a Republican. Surprisingly, he has a this Republican uh, Congresswoman trying to get him out of trying to get him out of prison. I mean, someone almost took his life last year in prison. I don't know what that was about. Besides that, you would think someone of his celebrity status wouldn't be in general population unless he preferred to be in general population. I don't know. But I remember he went to I think the ICU or something like that last year or sometime late 2024 because he got attacked while he was doing his sentence. And he has this Latina Republican senator who believes that Megan Thee Stallion lied based on like the dubious the dubious evidence against him and the fact that she's been caught in inconsistencies in what she said. And I gotta tell you, this Latina senator is hot. Like this Latina congresswoman, I forgot her name. She was on Bill Maher a few weeks ago. She looks good. I don't know if her and Tory Lanez got something secretly going on. I don't know, but she definitely feels he was done dirty in court and is trying to get the man released. But yeah, free Tory Lanez. Fuck Megan Thee Stallion and everything she represents. Fuck every woman that likes her. Can't I can't stand these black holes, man. Yeah, I said it. And mind you, some people would think because one of my friends tried to say he's like, oh, you just can't get black women. I'm like, dude, I didn't want to go there, but I was about to say, dude, you can't get black women. I'm not, I'm not, you know, I'm not short, fat, and ugly, so I can get bitches, black bitches, white bitches, Asian bitches, Latina bitches, Pacific Islander bitches, indigenous bitches. I gets bitches. I don't care. I don't need to toot my own horn, and you're not gonna hear me do it again. But I can get bitches. He can't. I'm not short and fat and considered unconventionally attractive. So even though I'm like way older, but and then on top of that, you you're dating all these chicks and still not having success with them. The fact of the matter is, they still desire me. They still hit me up online. and in real life, like I'm at the theater and some chick is literally talking to her friend. Uh, she was a bit not my yeah. Uh, anyway, she was literally talking to her friend, but loud enough for me to hear because she was looking directly at me and smiling while she was saying it to her friend. She was like, I would take him into the bathroom right now and have my way with him. And I'm like, yo, what the what? But yeah, I just don't attract. I'm just not attracted to them. That's my like. It's just a preference thing for me. To me, it wasn't like I said. All of the stuff that came out of the black manosphere about the gripes about black women, I didn't even catch on to that shit till like around till seriously around 2021 or so. Because I used to have my friends complain about stuff, but I just thought women didn't like them because they weren't conventionally attractive. Like they were short, unsuccessful, or or you know or obese or whatever. And it's like, of course the women don't like you. You're not what they conventionally consider attractive. If you're like, 5'4", if you're obese, if you're broke, of course they don't want you. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I realized that there was a lot of problems in the black community that I was unaware of because by the time this gender war is already starting to really heat up in the 2010s, like I wasn't dating black women anymore, so I wasn't aware of these issues. Oh well, pas dommage. But anyway, um, I think I'm gonna end this rant unless other people want to chime in. I just wanted to make fun of Megan Thee Stallion like everyone else is right now. I hear that she's actually coming after people talking about her online through through Rock Nation because she's under Jay-Z's Rock Nation. I don't give a fuck. Fuck her and fuck Jay-Z too. He hasn't like he's been on some weird shit for the past 13 years anyway. Like ever since he started wearing his little gay ass freedom locks. Like to me, it just looked like he was trying to tell corporate America that he's a safe Negro now. That's why he's wearing these little slavery looking his little slave looking hairstyle. Like what happened to just rocking a Caesar like this? Like he used to rock a Caesar. I'm gonna stay rocking a Caesar. Give me a few $1 billion. I'm not gonna start wearing some little gay ass dreadlocks growing out the side of my head, like looking like fucking Predator and shit. Now, if you say, will you grow that to get the billion? Hell yeah, I will. I'm not stupid. I'm just saying, as a result of me getting the $1 billion, I'm not going to then try to make myself look like a safe Negro. Like he claims he's trying to look like Michael Basquiat or whatever the artist name is, who I've never heard of and don't give a fuck about. But yeah. But maybe we should play one of her songs before we end this. And again, WAP is 0 for 2 right now. The WAP didn't work for Cardi B, and the WAP didn't work for Megan the Male Horse either. The WAP doesn't work. And who cares that you got a wet ass pussy? A leaky trash bag is wet too. Men don't do basic. Yeah. So. But yeah, I love seeing these bitches um, delusions get burst. Snow bunnies for the win. Rice bunnies even better. I'm looking at it, I still don't see how guys find this bitch attractive. I'm sorry. Ugh, ugh. None of them. Ugh. Lotto. Yeah. Glorilla. Ugh. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a song. Just to be, I'm just playing one of her songs to be sarcastic. That's that's how the type of person I am. I'm a very sardonic person. I don't care. In this video, what's it called, Mamushi or whatever. They open up the thing where it's like all the women that like are the prostitutes you can choose, and it's her and a whole bunch of Asian women. I would literally choose every single Asian woman other than her in that in that image. She's the weakest link out of all of them. I might want her little doo doo stain looking ass. Yeah, I said it. Out of all those Asian women, she's the ugly. She's the ugliest duckling. All of them look good except for her stupid ass, ugly bitch. So we get into her famous song, which there's some hoes in his house, and that's why they will never find high value men. 7 days a week, wet and gushy, make that pull out game. Yeah, they pulled out and left those hoes, and that's where I'm gonna leave this at. Peace.